This episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics is brought to you by Park Place Surgical Hospital. Hi, I'm Marcel Johnson, 10-9 on Inside Louisiana Athletics. As we head into the second half of our season, our Diamond Sports sit atop the Sun Belt Conference standings. Our Darren Walker sits down with head coach Matt Degg to discuss another big series against the Little Rock Trojans. But first, Louisiana softball showed that they are still the cream of the crop in the Sun Belt. Head coach Jerry Glasgow is here to discuss their series against a tough Texas State team. You're watching Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Hello and welcome to Inside Louisiana Athletics, another Sun Belt Conference Series win for the Ragin Cajuns softball team. That mark is now at 62 consecutive. Here now to take us through that Texas State series and preview the Alabama series is head coach Jerry Glasgow. So you sweep South Alabama, you sweep Troy, and you take 2 out of 3 from Texas State. And those are the teams that were really the challengers for the Sun Belt Conference title. So you're 8-1 against against that group. Just talk about how big you think that is at this point.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think that going 8-1 in those games it puts us in a really good spot down here to stretch. You know, we've got 3 games left with Coastal, 3 games with ULM, and both those teams are capable of playing really well. So, you know, we're not far enough along yet to celebrate, but we're in a great spot going into the last 2 series of the year. And I think we'd like to win all 9. You know, when you sweep that series at Troy, you sweep South Al, you'd like to have done it again against Texas State. But they're a really good ball club. All 3 of them are really good. I think this morning Texas State was 32 RPI and Troy was 34, and then South Al's right behind them, and they're at 44 or 43 even. So you got 3 top 50 series, and you go 9 games against top 50 RPI teams. It's hard to win all 9. So, you know, I guess we got to be happy with 8-1. And I thought that it showed a lot of resiliency on our kids' part to, in the first game of that doubleheader, to come right back out on the field and play another good game and get the win, take a chance, and give us a chance to take the series.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the action from the weekend. Game 1, you took a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning in what was really a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, but the Texas State bats wake up late. They get a couple in the 6th and then 3 more in the 7th. Sarah Bryan had a good day at the plate. She was 3 of 6, or had 3 of the hits for your team, but the rest of the team struggled against Jessica Mullins.
Yeah, Sarah was, I think, 3 for 4 or 3 for 3 in that game, and the freshman just did a good job. Mullins did a good job throughout the series, and you know, we, for whatever reason, our offense was a little off. We'd lost the Tuesday night game with Southeastern Louisiana. And then we had rain here all week, and we give the kids a lot more time off than normal because they were so fatigued from the road trip, and we need to catch up on our academics. And I think that breaking routine is what I'm going to blame part of the sluggishness on our offense, or as I try to figure out what happened. I think we, just got out of our routine, but then they bounced back in game 2 and scored 7 there. And they started Mullins again. They got her out in the first inning with 3 or 4 runs. I think scored 4 runs in the first. So I thought that was, overall, it wasn't the result we wanted, but we definitely come out of that second game feeling good about Sunday.
No doubt. Texas State did take that opener 5-1, but I want to go to what's going on between the 2 games. So, you just lose the first game of the series. So my question is this: is it fuel to the fire? Is it, are they disappointed? What's going on between games? What's the discussion? Are you just trying to flush everything and kind of start anew?
Yeah, I think, you win 17 in a row, at some point you're going to lose. And my focus at that point is don't let it snowball. Make sure we don't make it more than it is. If you play enough games, you're going to get beat. You can't keep winning forever. And it's going to come to an end. And I'd been thinking ahead, like I wanted to be sure we didn't look around and think about what we don't have. We want to stay focused on that. We've got the talent. The kids in our clubhouse have proved they could win, and I want to make sure we maintain that. So you want to address the loss, but you don't want to over dramatize it. And I think that it probably played in our favor in that we didn't have 24 hours. We had 30, 40 minutes to go back out there. And it really turned out good. We'd started Kendra Lamb in game 1, and she was tremendous through 5 innings. It allowed 2 hits. but she's thrown a lot of pitches, and I blame myself on that. I let the pitch count slip my mind, and probably should have been ready there when we got over 100 pitches to maybe even brought Summer in to finish with that 1-0 narrow lead. But she was so dominant, and we let that game kind of slip away from us. But the good part of that whole thing was we had Summer Ellison ready to come in game 2, and you always like your chances when Summer's starting. Right. And she was tremendous again.
Yeah, we'll talk about her in just a second, but first I want to get to Carly Heath. In the second game, she had 2 home runs, her 4th and 5th of the season. She's raised her batting average almost 100 points since the beginning of the month of April. Just go ahead and talk about her a little bit.
Yeah, well, she's been working really hard, and she's a very talented athlete. I think getting comfortable is the best way to describe why you're seeing improvement in her performance. I think she's just getting comfortable to be a Ragin Cajun, and we're very lucky to have her. She got power. The ball jumps off her bat like a Julie Rawls or Sierra Bryant. Very special hitter, and her power is really dynamic and fun to watch. So I think we've still got improvement to go. I think that average is going to keep going up. She's just a really elite level athlete.
Now to Summer, you said, as you mentioned, she went the distance. She struck out 12. She continues to look better and better every time she goes out there. And I know it's got to be great for you guys that she's becoming even more efficient at winning.
Yeah, she's been on a win streak here since the University of Texas Arlington series. She's just gotten on a roll, and I don't know what her win streak's at, but 10, 11 games, I think. And there was really 2 huge performances to bring us back and take that series, a critical series from a lot of different regions. But something we come to expect out of Summer. And I thought Sunday, even though her strikeouts, but she had 12 strikeouts, that's hard to beat. But Sunday, she did so efficient. The first inning, she got a 1-2-3 inning, and she's thrown 6 pitches. And after you're coming off, when you're doing 2 games in less than 24 hours, that was my focus was to let's try to minimize the number of pitches today and get quick outs. And she was really good on Sunday, I thought.
Let's talk about Sunday. Caitlin Alderink extends her hit streak to 10 games with an RBI single in the first to make it 1-0. And it stayed that way until the 6th when Sierra Bryant, who actually missed a bunt attempt on the first pitch of the at-bat, hits a 2-run homer to make it 3-0. And that's when the floodgates really opened up. Rawls with a 2 RBI base hit. Carly Heath extended her hot weekend with a 2 RBI single. Jenna Keene with an RBI. And all of a sudden you look up and it's 8-0.
Yeah, it shows the dynamics of this team and how, they can really. It's a really potent offense when they get to rolling, and you saw that at Troy all weekend, and over this win streak, they've been averaging 8-9 runs a game, and really it's been very easy for them to score runs, and I think that's what caught them off guard on Friday. We had to fight for runs, and we struggled a little bit there to get the fluidity of a good offense or get the offense run smoothly. But in that one inning, it was just like the law of averages, I guess. But it was fun to watch, beautiful to watch, and it really kind of caught the crowd and even me as a coach. It caught us off guard. We're 1-0 in a nail biter, and all of a sudden I look up and I got Jenna Keene at the plate and run it at third. And you realize, man, all we got to do is here is squeeze and we can put this thing away.
Right.
So it was a really fun inning if you're a Ragin Cajun fan.
Summer had a 1-hit shutout, 7 strikeouts. Ironically, she was very close to maybe not even pitching in this game. She was complaining of, quote, her leg was spazzing out a little, but she went out there and was dominant. Yeah,
she simply threw her left leg up over her right leg, but she was sore from, there's some stiffness there. And early Sunday morning, and she said she just lifted her leg up to put her one leg over the other. And it pulled a muscle in her hip and got it to having spasms. And we were really worried even 15, 20 minutes before the game, like we wasn't sure. And our trainer did a great job and our medical staff getting her ready. And she gave us a great performance.
No doubt. You step out of conference for a 2-game series with Alabama this upcoming weekend. They are number 3 in the country, 33-7 overall. Obviously, another big opportunity for your crew and a chance to play in another one of these big-time atmospheres.
Oh, yeah. It's great preparation for the regional because it'll be the same atmosphere. And, you've got Alabama, great program. They've got a great team this year, a tremendous coaching staff. Allison Habbott's played here,
Right.
a legend here in our program, and for basketball and softball is a long-term associate head coach, and Pat Murphy, Hall of Fame head coach. And they just do a great job over there with their program. Their fan base is the best in the SEC. And I've always thought as a coach, when I coached in the SEC, that Alabama was the hardest place to go play and get a win. And so I think that'll be good. We'll put our kids in a situation where they're going to see a lot of adversity on the road. And, we're playing well right now. And it'd be huge for us to come out of there with a win or even two if we could get it. But, you go on the road with a series like this, if we can just some way, fight, scratch, claw, and get a win, it'll be a great weekend for the Ragin Cajuns.
No doubt. Thank you, Coach, for the time. As always, the Ragin Cajuns in Tuscaloosa for 2 on Saturday and Sunday at 1:30 on each of those days. And we'll, of course, have highlights and reaction next week on Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Everything going the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns' way against Louisiana Tech in the first inning. An RBI single from Caitlin Alderink. Fast forward to the second inning. Everything going Louisiana's way. In that frame, Louisiana batting around the lineup, scoring 5 runs, making it 7-0 in a vet. Whatever the Cajuns did in the first 2 innings, it went right.
You're right. They came out and exploded, and a lot of good hits here. Some maybe defensive miscues by Louisiana Tech, but they just piled it on in 2 innings.
And hit by batters, walks, everything again going the Cajuns' way, including defensively. That beautiful play by Alderink at third base to keep the Cajuns in the game and to keep things scoreless. And both teams had opportunities late in the game but couldn't capitalize.
They did, but Kendra Lamb was awesome for Louisiana. 9 batters faced, 9 batters retired. Summer Ellison only gave up 1 hit, and Vanessa Foreman closed it out with no hits.
And the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns get the victory 7-0 over Louisiana Tech.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Darren Walker sits down with head coach Matt Deggs to discuss their upcoming series against the Little Rock Trojans.
This has got the steak and the sizzle.
The tots on this are just crispy and they're flavorful.
This will keep you out of my tots.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. Yeah, this might keep me out of your tots.
The health and safety of our students is our main concern. That is why the Office of University Housing and Residential Life has developed new protocols and procedures to strengthen our efforts to protect you during this pandemic. Housing staff is trained and ready to carry out safety protocols and guidelines set by local and national health authorities. All common areas will be cleaned and sanitized often, and no more than 2 residents will share a bedroom and bathroom. These are just a few of the safety measures we are implementing to ensure that our priority is you.
We all have dreams.
I want to dance. I like to build things. I want to explore.
For over 120 years, the University of Louisiana at Lafayette has made it possible for young dreams to become realities. So go ahead, dream big. We'll help you make those dreams come true.
How is yours? Because you got the spicy cheesesteak.
A little fire.
A little fire.
And desire.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. You're taking it too far. I know it's date day and all.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. It was a tough weekend in Mobile for the Ragin Cajuns baseball team as South Alabama picks up a 3-game sweep over Louisiana. Here now to take us through the frustrating weekend is the head coach, Matt Deggs. You sat here a couple of weeks ago and said, when we lose a game, it's usually on us. And that was the case this weekend. I guess the unfortunate part is you don't have just one thing that you can kind of point to. It was a myriad of things.
Yeah, it's really the last 4. It's been a tough stretch. You win, 8 in a row, and I think 6 in a row in the league, and it just goes to show you that, Darren, you're not going to be very successful when you're only good at one part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what showed itself over these 4 games is you can break the game down pitching, defense, and hitting, offense. And so you go back to last Sunday, and we're going to have our 9th win in a row, and we give up 15 free passes, have a couple of E's, but hit 7 home runs. So we're really good offensively. And then unfortunately for us, and not just us, but probably a lot of people, weather set in for an entire week. So we didn't have a game for literally 7 days. Then get to South Al and sit in a hotel for 48 hours and not making excuses, but you accumulated a little bit of rust during that time. And so the only practice we had is inside, but come out and pitch it pretty dang good all weekend and don't defend it, don't hit. So you're good at one thing and not the other two, and that's not going to give you much of a chance.
Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder there a little bit, but that's fine because that's where I was headed was the rain in Lafayette all week long. If you did get any work in, it was in the indoor facility. And like you said, then you had to go sit in a hotel room and really not be able to do anything. And so you're not able to keep the sword sharp during that time.
It was kind of the double whammy. You're right. There was no midweek game scheduled because of COVID. We had lost one there. And then literally it set in on us. And after it set in on us, it followed us down I-10 to Mobile.
Right.
And so there was a lot of, if you are working out or hitting especially, was all indoors for an entire week. Like I said, not making excuses. You got a series of that magnitude, a chance to create some separation in the league and set yourself really firmly at the top of that thing. You got to have a better effort.
Let's get into some of the specifics now. Game 1, Ben Fitzgerald with a solo home run in the first inning. Spencer Arrighetti was very efficient early on, pitched a good 7 innings, but then there was the 4th inning where a costly error on a throw to second gets things started for South Alabama. That was followed by some bad luck on a couple of fly balls to Tyler Robertson, Brennan Breaux, and all of a sudden it's a 4-1 game.
Yeah, it really was, and it shows you the importance of being able to defend on a Friday night. And then conversely, being able to put the ball in play offensively. We got off to a great start against a good young arm for South Al. And Benny runs him out of the ballpark, second hitter of the game, and here we go. Spence is on the mound. I thought he threw the ball well enough to win. And get into a bunt situation. We run a bunt play. It's perfectly executed, and we don't finish the throw. And then on the backside of that, have a chance to pick it and don't pick it. It leads to 4 runs.
Right.
And that's how you get behind the 8 ball, and on Friday night, you can't do that.
South Alabama takes game 1 4-1. In game 2, again, you jump out to an early lead. Connor Kimple with a triple to start the day. Tyler Robertson with an RBI double. 2 batters later, Drake Osborne singles in Robertson, and it's 2-0 after 1. And yeah, I mean, it was a tough weekend, but there is that positive that you were able to get out early in every game.
Yeah, oddly enough, we scored first in the first inning. All 3 games.
Right.
And we're never able to build off of that. And that was disappointing. And then really it comes down to, we don't execute a relay throw. It gets by 2 infielders, give up a free base to third. And then later in the game, we've got a walk, a stolen base, and a ground ball up the middle. That was that. And wind up losing by 1. Compound that with 13 punch-outs and just didn't deserve to win that game.
Right. Connor Cook was cruising through the middle innings, and he did give you 6 good innings. He left the game with the game tied at 2, but they did go ahead and tack one on later on to win it 3-2.
Yeah, and they did something we haven't seen all year. They strung 3 straight hits together off Brandon Talley, and that's what it's going to take to beat him, and that's why I like him so much, is you're going to have to earn it. And they were able to find, none of them were hit hard. They were able to find some holes, and 3 straight hits, and they were able to take the lead.
Right, that was very unusual. Game 3, you take the lead again in the first on a South Al throwing error on a steal, but in the second inning, you gave it back in a few more, a couple of errors, an RBI double, wild pitch, and again, you find yourself down 4-1.
Right, and I think we gave up 7 unearned runs on that third game, and that's just not going to cut it. The effort all the way around all weekend's not going to be good enough to win this league, and we've got to be better in every single phase. And to say that was disappointing would be an understatement.
Yeah, and especially against a team of that caliber, because let's face it, sometimes you can get by with not playing your best, but against South Alabama, you can't do that.
No, you can't give good teams anything, especially teams that can pitch, because you make that climb that much longer and harder.
Right.
And that's unfortunately what we did every game.
So again, the positives, you took early leads, the pitching was solid once again. And I guess the last one is that the series pushed everything back to Monday. So now it's kind of like you have a game against McNeese, and then you're going to have to pack your bags and head to Little Rock. So not a whole lot of time to dwell on what happened.
That's certainly a positive. We get to get right back at it tomorrow night. I thought our bullpen threw the ball well. We came in out of the bullpen throwing the ball pretty good all weekend. That was a positive. Starting pitching was certainly pretty good. And like you said, we get to play tomorrow night and then jump on the bus, head up to Little Rock, and another pivotal 3-game series. We're tied atop our conference, our side of the league, and we're tied overall, but South Al's going to hold that tiebreaker on us.
Yeah, and Little Rock came into the season, with a lot of hype. A lot of people thought that they were going to be a factor in the Sun Belt West side. And like you said, now you're tied with those guys with a 7-5 record. They're coming off of losing 2 out of 3 to Monroe. They're playing 500 ball this year. So, we always like to preview the other team a little bit, but at the same time, I guess you guys are kind of looking in the mirror and trying to fix yourselves.
Yeah, we've been an up and down team. And, the positive of that is, I've said it all along, I think we can continue to get better. Mm-hmm. But the consistency's got to improve. You're not going to win a bunch underachieving your ability, and that's what we went back to doing this weekend. We've got to stop being so combustible one way or another, reel off 8, lose 4, and work to be more consistent in every phase. And I think you trace it all back to a box score when you look at free passes, errors, and punch-outs, and those have to be cut in half. And when they are, we're a really competitive team. When they're not, we find ways to lose ball games.
All right, Coach, thank you for the time. As always, we'll see if the Ragin Cajuns can get back to a routine and their winning ways here in Little Rock this weekend. We'll have highlights and reaction next week on Inside Louisiana Athletics.
The Courtesy Experience is about exceptional customer service and great deals.
Like a new 2021 GMC Sierra for $11,000 off, or a 2021 GMC Acadia for $25,988. Discover the Courtesy Experience at Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, Monge.
Like I would go with the signature strawberry limeade, add in cranberry. It'll give you that kick like right there in the back.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
This muscle right here.
Might be a little tart for me.
The faculty will be impacted by advance. But really the faculty are the ones who have driven for decades this significant educational experience here. It's their passion and their love of students that have made undergraduate research and creative works, experiential learning in general, available to our undergraduate students. This is going to provide a mechanism for faculty to reach more students and provide the resources so that these faculty can entice more students into the experiential learning experience.
When it comes to professors, from a professor perspective, we are constantly looking to get students involved, not just in the classroom. I mean, we want that student that's going to raise their hand and engage, and we're actually looking, though, for not just that student, but for every student to engage in that same way. That said, it takes a lot of resources to not just do our own work, but to train other students to do it. When I think about my lab, for example, there's kind of my line of research and what I would do if I were just doing my own work and not mentoring anybody. And then there's all of the pieces involved in getting those students to engage in research in a meaningful way. There are financial resources, there are training resources. If I want to teach my students not just psychology, but how to do research of psychology, and not just psychology, but my particular area of psychology, that's a big burden for me to overcome. I've got to convince them that it's important, which I think just having the advanced program in place does. I've got to convince them or help them find resources, financial resources, so that they can take time off work or travel to a conference to present their work. And I've got to provide these fundamental skills that are about research that really aren't my expertise. So what the advanced program does for UL Lafayette professors is it provides us with extra resources to support those students, providing them with just the support of having an agency that's within the university that's entirely devoted to this little bit extra that they're trying to do.
All you have to do is dish a drink, and your taste buds.
Sounds like happiness. So many feels. All the feels.
You do the shimmy when it meets expectations, and the head nod is I'm perfectly satisfied.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
I feel like I would go with the signature strawberry limeade. Add in cranberry. It'll give you that kick, like right there in the back.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
This muscle right here.
Might be a little tart for me.
The Courtesy Experience is about exceptional customer service and great deals.
Like a 2021 Buick Enclave for $10,000 off, or a 2021 Buick GX for only $18,988. Discover the Courtesy Experience at Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette.
I know where you're going. No, we couldn't have.
You're right. I was going to say we could have got one and shared, but that's not true.
Gonna work.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks.
That wouldn't work.
The Courtesy Experience means better customer service.
It's about giving you a great deal. Like a new 2021 Chevy Silverado for $9,000 off MSRP, or a 2021 Chevy Traverse for $28,988.
Discover the Courtesy Experience at Courtesy Chevrolet Cadillac in Broussard.
Thanks for tuning into another episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics. Be sure to catch us next week for more Louisiana Ragin Cajuns coverage. Go Cajuns.